Hey.
Hi.
So we've been married for 4 years now, and yesterday we were having a little discussion about what,
Made us, or
or how do we know that we wanted to marry each other,
yeah,
and we thought, you know what, let's just do a video about it.
yeah.
Why not? And we came to the conclusion that there's 5 main points that you should at least think about when you get into a relationship with the idea of possibly going further into marriage. And here they are.
So number one, I want to start very much from before, from the beginning of when you meet. I don't think the first thing that you should do on a date is discuss your future plans generally, but I think probably in the first few months of a relationship you have to lay your intentions down on the table because you don't want to get more and more into it and get emotionally invested and fall in love only to find out that the person never wants to get married, and that's a big thing. Like, some people are fine and say, okay, if you don't want to get married, I'll go with what you want, but some people are not. Like, if you're somebody that has always imagined themselves getting married, don't just leave it for too late. Have that conversation, not in a pushy way, but you can be like, okay, I want to be in a serious relationship that leads to a marriage, or I want to be in a casual relationship, or I don't even know where I want to be.
So how long do you think someone should have that conversation? Like after what, 2 months, 3 months?
Oh yeah, I can't put a date, but yeah, I say in the first couple of months when you starting to see each other often and you feel that you're, getting into it.
Okay, I think that would lead good on to the next point, which is going to be career, because if you do have that first discussion about marriage and whatnot, then you're going to want to discuss when are we going to get married. But that shouldn't be in the first few months, should it? That should be
No.
afterwards. So I
Yeah.
think maybe you should both work out where you are in your careers and stuff. Maybe that doesn't even have to be a conversation. That can just be feeling how career driven the other person is,
Yeah.
and then taking it from there. But knowing where you both are in your careers and what you want from your careers, I think, is a very important thing to establish in the back of your mind before you take things really seriously.
Yeah, because what we found with each other is that we both want to run our own business. Now, this hasn't been possible to become both of us self-employed straight away, but it has really encouraged us to work towards it together. And I'm sure that it's not impossible to do it on your own and the other person is working full-time, but it's just so much more encouraging, and it gives you an extra time to spend with each other to work on that career or in that business together as a mutual goal.
At the same time, you do have some people who, and it's not a bad thing, it's not a right or wrong thing, but some people who aren't interested in being self-employed. They just want to go to work 9 to 5, and they believe that is the way things should be. And you've got other people who are more entrepreneurial, and they want to break out of the rat race kind of thing. And if you have two people who have completely different opposing views on what work is and what a career is, then that could cause problems.
Yeah, because there might come a time that you have to understand that there might come a time that in both situations there might be a time that maybe you have money struggles, so you don't want to
Excuse me. Sorry.
bless you, you don't want to end up in the situation where you kind of blame the other person that they haven't put in enough, or they've taken the decision to do this but now their job or their business is not working out. So you have to know this beforehand so you can judge if it's something you can actually deal with later in life.
That's true. And moving on from that one, later in life, children. Are both of you on the same page in terms of wanting kids or not? And I think that's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
'Cause
biggest.
yeah.
I mean, I know a lady. I mean, for me, when I first met her, I was like very surprised that this can happen, because my first thought was like, didn't they talk about this when they got married, or before they got married rather? But basically they got divorced because he didn't want to have children, and I was like, it's really sad, because you've been together for a few years and maybe you hope that the other person is going to change their mind, but this is a big thing. Like, children are, in most cases when you have children, they take over your life, and for somebody to, I think it's easier for someone to agree not to get married than for someone to agree not to have children.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Next point, I think would be values,
Yeah.
and not necessarily just values of what's right and wrong, but values overall in terms of how people conduct their lives in general.
Yeah.
For example, we know somebody who wouldn't wash their hands after doing anything.
Okay.
So you want to be with somebody who's at least on the same sort of level as you in terms of when they want to wash their hands, for example. Otherwise, that kind of thing can probably grain on you.
Yeah.
But on a bigger picture, you want to have someone that understands that this is right and that's wrong. And I'm being very vague here, but even the smallest of things can be a big thing.
Yeah.
Like smoking.
Yeah.
One person may think that smoking is a complete no-no, but the other person smokes. Now, in the first few weeks of the relationship, you might think, it's okay, they smoke, I don't mind that. But after 6 months, after you're married,
A few years.
smoking, that could become a big thing. It could be a breaker. So make sure you're both on the same page in terms of values and how you live your life in terms of lifestyle.
Exactly. So we think the best way to judge those points is to spend a decent amount of time with the other person. The only time we kind of rushed, I would say, is between getting engaged and getting married, because we planned it for a bit less than a year, and people usually take, I think, more than a year. But other than that, we give each other time to see that the other person is not completely crazy and annoying, and we love them enough that we can actually imagine ourselves spending the life with them, our lives with them. So is there anything that we've missed? Anything
I don't
big?
think so. No.
Let's see what our viewers have to say.
Until next time.
Bye bye.